Hear ye, and welcome to the Royal Geek Podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Rollison, also known as T-Roll, and tonight I am joined by a couple pretty cool guys. First of all, we have Justin Sandoval, a.k.a. Sandy, and we also have Anthony Amato, who we like to call Shamato. Boys, it's a very special episode.
Yep.
The third anniversary special, and I still forgot to adjust my mic before we began. So there you go, 3 years in, and I'm still making rookie errors.
Man, dude, 3 years. That's a long time.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal, and we're here to kind of have a little break from.
It's a celebration.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little break from the movie and TV content, and we're gonna talk about celebrating 3 entire years. That's crazy.
We're basically just gonna have a whole episode where we talk about how awesome we are.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what
We're going to take all the content, all the things that have culminated in us being here for 3 years, and just do something completely different from here on out.
Yeah.
Some of you are like, yes, finally.
We are changing this into a crypto investment podcast.
Yes.
Ooh, that's brutal.
Yes,
man.
about 6 months too late.
Exactly.
That is brutal.
Just like our podcast covering Marvel and DC and all the other.
Nice.
Anyways, as a nervous laugh, no, for real, it has been exciting to do this podcast with you guys for 3 years now. And to all of our listeners, whether you were with us on day one when we were covering Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. back in 2020, or if you just recently jumped on because the hype train is rolling through your town. Either way, we're very thankful for you. We want to encourage you to please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen, and to share the podcast with your friends. Follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod. Stay up to date with everything we got going on. And so Justin, why don't you kind of tell us the vision behind this episode?
Yeah, well, I mean, 3 years. I was just thinking that we need to do something cool. We need to do something, personal, because I mean, this has been a very personal journey for all of us.
Yeah. Yep.
And so I got to thinking, I was like, let's do something cool. And so I reached out to the fan base, threw out a bunch of text to some close friends, but then also put some opportunities out there in like direct messages and stuff with some fans. And I was like, what would be some Q&A questions that you would want to kind of ask the podcast? And we had several questions come flooding in, so that's good.
See, Justin's actually pretty good with PR.
Yeah.
He did a good job of asking certain people for questions, but not everybody, Anthony.
Yes. I believe that's called censorship.
Well, listen, I wanted to just, come on tonight to record the podcast and be like, hey, surprise, here's a podcast that I've been kind of cooking for the last couple of days, and then kind of threw it out there, and they were like, oh, that's a really cool idea. And then I mentioned the Q&A part in there, and then we kind of had our first podcast fight.
We did, yeah. I'm surprised we actually hit the record button.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
So if you're a faithful listener,
faces.
if you're a faithful listener and your question is not included, just know you don't have to blame me or Shamato.
It's this guy over here. Yeah, it's definitely me. So anyway, it was a nice gesture of a good gesture.
But it is a great idea, man, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, so we're gonna definitely cover that tonight too. But I mean, we want to go ahead and like kind of do like a trip down memory lane and kind of talk about the origins, man, like how it all kind of got started. Which I mean, we'll just dive right in, I guess. Right? Is that good?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, so the funny thing is that like me, T-Roll, and Shamato, we have been like in and out of like movie premieres, Marvel movie premieres, Star Wars, like all the big movie premieres, like since as far back as I can remember, like 2010, right around there, kind of is when the three of us kind of emerged. 2011 for T-Roll, but me and Shamato have been going way back.
Yeah, you guys go further back.
Well,
than
I
me.
remember the first movie we ever actually saw a midnight movie together was Man of Steel.
Okay, so that was 2013 then.
Yes,
right?
that was specifically yes.
Yeah.
Was I there? I wasn't there for that. Was I?
I don't
don't
know
think
if you
so.
were.
I doubt it, honestly.
There may have been some other people there, but
DC movie premiere back then. That's
one of the biggest things that I remember about it is it was a true midnight movie premiere.
Yeah,
like waiting in line for a couple hours,
no
or
reserved
like
seating.
An hour or
it's just
two.
come,
Yeah, there was
first serve.
no reserved seating because we weren't at one of the fancy theaters, and the reserved seating hadn't trickled down to the secondary theaters yet. And I remember, having playing games like movie games in line as we were waiting for the line to actually open up for us to be able to pick up seats.
Yep.
Yeah, and and we always talk about movies. That's it. We talk about movies, talk about TV shows, and then T-Roll and I we met like weekly for breakfast for I don't know how long. It was like almost
at a local establishment called Taco Bell.
Yeah, exactly. Breakfast,
Real
at Taco Bell.
classy.
Yeah, real classy. And all we would do is we would literally talk about the movie or TV show that we were watching and sports. Like that's what we would do. And one week. It's funny because T-Roll brought it up. T-Roll brought it up in the conversation. He's like, "Hey, man, like we should do a podcast. We talk about this all the time." But the funny thing is that the week prior, I wanted to bring up to T-Roll that we should start a podcast. But when I was thinking that out loud, I was like, that sounds so stupid. Why would I ask T-Roll to start a podcast? And then I didn't do it. I chickened out. And then the following week, he asked me to start a podcast.
So I asked first, people.
Yes, he did. He asked first.
Yes.
But that would have been probably 2 years before we started a podcast.
True. Yes. Correct.
Like, seriously.
And then I was like, well, we're gonna need somebody with the brains. Like somebody who's like smart about weird things.
Everything.
And knows a little about everything. Just because I didn't feel like T-Roll and I, we have our own niche. Like we have our own specific niche. But then Shamato came to mind as the guy who literally had like knew everything.
Well versed.
Yeah, well versed. And T-Roll and I went to like a business proposal and
At
Taco Bell.
Yes.
And we pushed a Baja Blast in front of him. We're like, listen, buddy, this is what we have ideas for. And we pitched the idea, and he was like, where do I sign? Like,
Yeah.
It might have been a Diet Pepsi, but yeah.
It might have been, yeah.
It was probably that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's really how it got started. And I mean, the rest is history after that.
Yeah.
The only downfall on their pitch is they refused to pick up the bill that first day.
Yeah. No, we did not.
Times are tough back then.
Yeah. But yeah, and so here we are. It took a couple of months of planning to try to get this off the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A lot of back and forth conversations, a lot of where's this money going, where's that money going. But we eventually just started and
Yeah, we bought these microphones. Same microphones.
same microphones.
Yeah.
Different stand. If you're watching this on YouTube,
Yes.
we have a different stand, but same exact microphone. So that's
Well, and of
pretty
course,
impressive.
It's a good investment.
the insanity is the fact that all this was culminating to lead into a time where the world is completely shut down.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah.
We didn't know that.
Nobody expected that to happen.
Yeah.
So we promised. We already had the ball was already built, and it had already the momentum was moving.
So all you other people who started a podcast because you were bored during COVID, we already had the idea before COVID.
Yes,
So.
in
That's
fact,
why we're still here.
We were. May 1st was when 2020 is when Black Widow was supposed to come out. I believe it was May 1st. I believe.
Yeah.
And that was. I remember, almost everything got delayed. But I remember when that happened, we were like, "Well, son of a gun."
Yeah.
That was supposed to be our launching episode. Like we were gonna.
We planned it to be a big Marvel movie. Is what we planned it to be.
Because it was supposed to be the first thing in Phase 4 in Marvel, and it wasn't.
Nope.
And so that leads into, and we've mentioned it before, I think I said on this pod actually, the first thing we covered was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the final season. And I'll never forget how awesome it was because in 2020, in April, May, June, whenever that was, there was nothing happening. You know?
Nothing.
So to have Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., to have 13 episodes, 13 weeks of a new thing come out on ABC or whatever it was incredible.
Yeah. And think about it. It's the only thing I think network television that we actually covered because I believe
since then we've just done streaming.
Yeah. Just streaming.
I think you're right.
So that's a change for sure.
How about that? I never thought about that.
I know, right? But yeah,
it's a new dawn.
It is a new dawn. And then we've been doing it for 3 years since then. So there's definitely a lot of ups and downs for sure.
Many autographs later, many guest appearances,
something like that. Yeah,
on other shows and pods and YouTube channels later.
Yeah,
here we still are going strongly.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, we enjoy it. Listen, the main reason we're doing this because it's like we enjoy it. I mean, I I just enjoy talking about movies, TV shows, and everything else,
Yeah,
man.
and we're really thankful for everyone who's continued to join us on this journey. So
Yeah.
Yep,
So
yep.
before we get into the Q&A section, I want to go ahead and we're going to read all of our 5-star reviews. How about that?
hey, shout out to these people.
Yes, shout out to these people.
This is the best way. One of the best ways you can help us. Going on Apple, giving us a 5-star review.
Yeah.
It's tremendous help.
It would be extremely helpful.
Outside of literally just sharing it with your friends, this is like the next best thing. So.
Exactly. Okay, so let's see. I guess I'll give everybody credit. So I'm going to go ahead and read the names of these reviewers. So
you sure?
I don't know.
We'll
see.
You make a call on that before, like read it in your head before you say the name.
Okay, we're going to go no names. We're going to no names.
I mean, it's fine if you do names. Just
all right, so here we go. Our first 5-star review ever.
Is there a date on it?
5/26.
2020.
Yep.
Wow, that was really early.
Yeah.
Such a great listen. These guys are so fun to listen to. Super informative and great. Natural dialogue between them all. Looking forward to more episodes.
Oh,
So
well, there's been plenty since then.
yeah,
Yep.
shout out there. Here's another one. The second one. Wow, blown away. I feel like I'm a bro. Can't wait for the next episode.
All right.
So that's always a fun one, man. I love it.
Just a bunch of bros here.
That's right. All right. So fun, very informative and fun. So we got double fun.
Double fun.
Somebody doubled
Yeah.
down there. That's awesome.
If you've ever wondered if we're fun, there you go.
And as
great.
you listen to this, like, what am I listening to? What are these guys? All right, here's a great pod. These guys know their stuff on movies and TV shows. So
I think these guys, you and the two of you know your stuff. I'm just kind of here.
Listen, you're a fantastic moderator, man.
Thanks,
You
man.
keep the flow of the show, man. It's until we start, like 5 seconds before we hit record, and you're like, "Bro, Justin, you got this. You're taking charge."
Thanks, man.
But okay,
Are
next
there any
one.
5-star reviews just about me?
Actually, this next one, no.
No.
Not at all.
Okay. That's all right.
It says great pod, really informative and takes a deep dive to keep you informed, but also humorous to keep you entertained. Keep it up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think I remember reading that one. I have read all these before, to be fair, but it has been a while.
It's been a while since I've actually looked at them. This one, big fan. These guys know their stuff and are great at keeping me informed on all things Marvel.
Keep hearing that informed word.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Can't wait to geek out with them every week. That's good, man. That's good. You need to have us on that regular calendar, ready to listen. That's what you need to do.
Every weekend we drop a pod.
That's right. Another 5-star review. Amazing podcast. Yo, these guys are awesome. They know so much about Marvel movies and other shows. I really enjoy the conversations they have. Definitely check them out. I love it.
Wow. That's major heart emoji right there.
Yeah, I
man.
know.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right, this one says, awesome pod and awesome guys. They really know their stuff about Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. These guys are true super nerds.
Oh, snap. Is he talking about you, Shimano?
Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, I would say
Super
so too.
nerds. I like it, man.
Yeah, this one's good. I like this one. This one says, and here we go. I don't think a better quote could have been used for these fanatics. It is literally what we experience with the Royal Geek Podcast. A sprinkle of Christopher Nolan and a whole lot of Batman and Joker. Hold on, there's more. I can't believe I am just now finding them. This is just what my morning drive needed. Absolutely amazing content, chemistry, and charisma from this group. Keep up the great work, you guys.
Hold on.
See ya, pizza.
Pizza.
Now we just got to figure out which one of us is Christopher Nolan, which one of us is Batman, and which one of us is the Joker.
Yeah.
I think you're Christopher Nolan, Mr. Movie script writer over there. And I don't know. I think-
probably.
I don't know. It's
I've been
who's
told I
Batman
look
and
more like
Joker?
the Penguin, so we'll just go with that.
Let's just go with that. Oh, man. Okay, so eargasm, an absolute delight for geeks and non-geeks alike. All of the hosts
my
all the
gosh.
hosts and guests share knowledge and insight in such a fun conversational form.
I've never.
Oh, here we go.
heard
Sandoval especially shines
Wow.
with his
Well then.
All right. This
Somebody
feels
sold
like a
themselves.
plant. This is a plant.
This is not a plan.
Is this your wife?
No, I promise you it's not. Sandoval especially shines with his in-depth analysis of all things Marvel. If you have ears, you should definitely check this gem out.
Wow.
Make sure you're not, break your back while you're patting yourself on it.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm
That felt like
sorry.
a plant, man.
I'm sorry. So, Anyway, those are some of our 5-star reviews. We really appreciate you guys out there. If you want to, you know what? How about this? How about moving forward with the podcast? Every new 5-star review we read that week.
Great.
Sound good?
Works for me.
So,
Gotta get 'em.
listeners out there, you got a
Which
five
means
star
if we
review?
go 12 episodes and there's not a single one read, that means
You're not doing it.
nobody's
You're
done
not
it.
doing your job.
Yep.
A lot of pressure there.
Yeah. So definitely do that. All right. And we'll create a whole segment just for that.
Wow.
And
And
we'll,
we'll
and
say the
moving forward,
names.
we'll shout out names. Moving forward.
So creative names get bonus points.
Yeah. There you go. And we kind of keep it like PG-13-ish on here. So,
Creatively clean.
Yeah. So yeah. There you
Yes. I mean, as long as there's not certain words. But yeah.
Yes.
go. All good there.
I
So
believe there are 7 of them.
is that what? Yeah. The
7 dirty words you can't say on
That's right.
TV.
The movie theaters that they say they give you the ratings. So anyway, all right, moving on.
Okay.
Q&A time,
Let's
fellas.
do it.
So once again, we reached out to several people, whether it's direct message through fan bases or text messages with close listeners and that kind of stuff. But anyway,
Don't worry, I'm too
or-
socially awkward to call out anyone that I know.
yeah. Or these are just questions that have been asked throughout the time, either on social media, whether it's on YouTube comments or whatever. Okay. So moving forward, here we go. Question number 1. What's your favorite memory since starting the podcast? Great question. Great question.
I'll start this one off. I wouldn't necessarily like favorite, but like most impactful. And we've brought this up multiple times before, but the night that we found out that Chadwick Boseman had passed away was we had a phenomenal conversation before the pod, and then we had phenomenal conversation on the pod, and it was one of the most impactful, and like, you know, I feel like it just sticks in your mind moments in the pod history for me that is connected with the pod in real world, and just like the emotion of what we were going through at that moment.
I remember that vividly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, trust me, it's one of my vivid memories as well. too.
It was the first time we'd been in a movie theater after COVID.
Yeah.
We watched
New Mutants.
New Mutants, which is not a good movie.
No, it was not.
We came back to Justin's basement, back where we were in your basement.
I miss the basement, man.
Me too. Me too.
Gosh.
Still mad at you for getting rid of it.
Our YouTube fans would have loved the basement. They would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. It's great. And then, yeah, I mean, you had like a 100-inch TV down there. Or
It
something.
was
great.
massive, yeah.
Yep.
And I had
But-
autographed jerseys hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
sitting down
Had a
and
kiddie chair to sit on. I mean, it was
and
perfect.
I'll never forget just scrolling on Twitter. I mean, the funny thing is, not that it's funny. The interesting thing is, we were probably less than 5 minutes away from just starting the pod.
Yeah, hitting
Yeah.
record.
And I was just kind of, you guys were talking about something. I get on Twitter, I'm scrolling, I see a picture. I was like, what? I scroll, I see another picture of Chadwick. I'm like, what the heck? And then, you know, I'd share with you guys. And honestly, it's just like, we didn't actually record for another like hour plus.
Yeah.
Yes.
We spent the time talking.
Because we were
about it.
processing and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And it also makes me think of like one of the things I just hate about the internet. And that moment when you saw it, you couldn't 100% believe it. Like you gotta like you gotta like double check and make sure, and like you kind of always, you in some ways you're kind of hoping that whatever it is
Yeah.
just a cruel hoax
Yeah.
of some sort. But you know, finding that secondary information and
Yeah.
you know,
Well, I don't remember when, but remember when there was a hoax about Kel from Keenan and Kel that he died?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember
And
that.
like I went like weeks thinking like, oh yeah, he's dead, and
Yeah.
he's
not,
not.
not at all. Yep.
And so like yeah, you just never know what to believe. But yeah, that was a very memorable moment, man, for sure. So, I felt blessed that you know that was hard news and sad news, and it was also in 2020 when everything sucked.
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
But I was thankful to kind of experience like that happened to happen on a Friday night when we were hanging out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I
You
think
know?
honestly, we had really great dialogue about just the significance of death and importance of
Yeah.
life, and
Yeah.
like it was a good conversation too. But even before the pod, before we record.
So what you got, Justin?
All right, so mine is. Do you remember when we tried to do the virtual podcast, like not at
On
the
Zoom?
same on Zoom? Yeah,
Yeah.
And the lost
Star Wars
the
episode.
lost episode that
Yeah.
is never going to
Yeah,
be aired
yeah.
ever.
oh yeah,
That was such a headache, and like the main thing that sticks out to me is that we had a phenomenal conversation about Star Wars.
Yeah.
And the world will never see it because it is lost somewhere in the
We will
ethos.
never see it.
Yeah,
Yep.
we'll never see it. Actually,
And-
I did actually find it the other day.
Really?
But I can't get it to go onto a computer
Yep.
and turn into MP3 format.
All right, let's try
Yeah.
to play around with it another
And
time.
for the life of us, we're not going to re-record it.
Yeah, no.
I don't
No
even
way.
remember what the topic was.
Yeah,
I know it's Star Wars, but
It was Star Wars related,
Yeah.
but
Was it like non-force wielding characters? Maybe was that the one that we did?
actually, yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
that was it. Non-force,
right?
our top non-force wielding characters. I believe
Yeah.
that's what it was. But
Yeah.
it was a fun conversation, and the big thing that sticks out to me is that we had a phenomenal conversation about it, but the headache of trying to figure out how to get
Oh, it was terrible.
from Zoom to whatever.
Yeah.
it was just
And I
just
think,
a
like,
miserable process.
and we had done many pods together, so one of us had COVID. That had to have been it. Like one of us was positive
Yep.
at the time. I mean,
Yeah, but still wanted to do it. We still wanted to get do the pod
Yep.
just because
Yeah.
we enjoyed it. So
I remember I think I was sitting upstairs on the floor because it was a little more quiet away from my wife and dog and everything. But yeah,
yeah, so it just the headaches of technology and podcasting. You didn't expect when you started a podcast.
so my favorite memory is actually all of my favorite memories are kind of similar. They're never like podcasts with you guys.
this is good. That's good, man.
Yeah, it's like we're sitting here, we're taking forever to start. We have an idea, we go down some crazy rabbit hole, then we end up watching YouTube videos. So I'll share the one that sticks out the most, but this happened in other instances too. But one day we decided we wanted to do a podcast, and I think we called it "The Best Show You've Never Heard of or Never Watched" or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But it was on Ted Lasso because Ted Lasso season 2 had just dropped, while we were together.
Yes.
And so we recorded a preview for season 2 based solely off of everything we saw in season 1 because we all love the show, still love the show.
Still,
And in fact, in 2 weeks we're going to do not 2 weeks. It's next week. It's a finale episode. So we're gonna cover the finale of the series, and it's getting good. It's been good the whole time. But anyways, I remember we recorded it really quick, and then I think while we were on the pod, it was a short pod. We said, you know what? Let's cut this short.
Yeah.
And let's go watch episode 1.
Yeah. Well, let's just do it. Yeah.
And I remember episode 1 of season 2, watching it with you guys over there on that couch, and we just kind of cut the podcast short.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah. We've done that a few
Yeah.
times with certain things.
When we watched Mulan, we went and got some food. We stayed up
did.
late. We watched the live action Mulan. We were kind of let down by it.
yes.
Yeah.
Just
very
those kind
much
of
so.
moments are like the most fun.
Yeah. I agree. Good times, man.
Yeah.
All right. So next question: have you guys ever thought about doing a live show?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
We have thought about it. Yes.
And we thought the best way to do it would be to have Shimado run all the technology and logistics.
That's the best way to do it.
yeah.
I mean, technically, we've already done a pseudo live show, but
We have.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Still a good memory.
But the universe does not allow us, and by the universe, I mean YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did a watch along for a movie and then the audio from the movie was picked up in the camera, so it's obviously copyrighted.
Yep.
It's a bunch of mess. There's probably things we can do to get around it, but we didn't. And but we had a good time watching a really terrible movie.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
It was a jester watch along. So.
Yeah. And it was miserable. But yeah, we have thought about doing it. We have thought about doing a live show.
Yeah,
whether
maybe
it's
we will.
streaming on some like maybe Twitch or something, or maybe going somewhere and have like at a bar or something and
Yeah.
having a podcast there.
It's where we belong.
Maybe go to a convention, maybe.
Yeah, conventions.
You know?
We thought about doing that as well.
Yeah.
We have two big conventions in our local spot where we could potentially set up and do
Yeah.
something. But yeah, we have thought about stuff like that.
Yeah, so honestly, probably the only thing that's keeping us from that is, well, outside of time,
Yeah.
would be, I think if we knew that there was a big desire, big need,
Yeah. So if that's something you want to do, you want to hang out with
Yep.
us and
Yeah.
and just chill and talk about stuff, we'll be happy to do it, man.
That'd
We
be
would.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
All right. So next question is, if you could talk about one topic, what would it be? Topic / genre.
Topic
so,
slash genre.
Yeah, so like
So it can be broad or
it can be
narrow.
broad. It can be like if you specifically just Marvel, Star Wars, or it can be action movies, or comedy TV shows. Like
Okay.
what niche? If you could only talk about one thing, what would it be? Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I feel like the easy, answer is
There's
to go
one
to the
easy-
well
yeah.
of comic book content.
Yeah, there's one
There's
easy
there's
answer.
just so much of it. First of all,
Yeah.
and it rings true with us, and it's just kind of the vein that we have, gone to the most. It's the well that we consistently hit for our content, for the content that we enjoy, for the content that it seems like you the viewer enjoys. So it's just what we gravitate to as well, and we're always ready to go see the next Marvel movie, and me and Justin are always ready to go see the next DC movie.
That's right.
yeah.
Countdown to June 16th.
Yeah.
Wait, what's on June 16th?
You won't be here, so you
exactly.
don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, no, that's
Conveniently.
fair. Conveniently missing all the DC stuff. Yeah. Well, get better at it, and I might show up. No, it's truthfully, the original idea was the original idea was a Marvel podcast.
Yes.
And then we thought, well, we should probably broaden it out.
When we say we, it was more of Justin forcing you guys to do other stuff.
Well, no, I think Shimada was down to go more broad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. I think I was the one, just because I have some limitations compared to you guys. The amount of content that you guys have watched and continue to watch, it like mind-boggling to me.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't-
funny because like he hosts a movie, TV show podcast.
And I know nothing about
and
some of this stuff.
He's what we cover is literally all this guy watches.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
Do I watch any? Yeah.
I'm right.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah.
I know. Trust me, I know. I
What's
get
the
it.
last thing I watched that wasn't covered on this pod?
That would be in the same.
That's not
vein.
sports, because obviously I watch sports too. But
Severance.
Oh yeah, Severance.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Actually,
right.
Good call. Severance. Yeah.
Good-
Good shout. Which is a
Severance.
great show.
Phenomenal show.
Yeah,
Season
great
2 got
show.
delayed though. You hear about that?
Son of a gun.
Yeah, I
No,
know.
I didn't.
I know.
But hey, delays are good. They usually mean they're fixing something.
Let's hope. Let's hope.
Let's hope. Okay.
Yeah.
Next. Next question, or someone else? What was the question?
Oh yeah, which we said he said Marvel, comic books.
For me, it's just Marvel.
Marvel.
Yeah, because it was just like that's gonna be the easiest. For
Yeah.
me, I'm all about what's easiest.
Yeah.
You guys like to take it to the next level, and I'm just like,
what's the easiest? So like
Yeah.
for
I mean,
me,
you want to cover Little Mermaid?
You want path
we're
of
not-
least resistance.
So that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna
for
say
D-roll.
my mind, my head, my brain is telling me Disney. Period. Just Disney, right? Because I feel like anything under the
Safe answer, yeah.
Disney umbrella would be smart. But if you were asking my heart, all right, my heart would be anime. I would cover anime 24/7.
Which you kind of.
That's right.
already
and
do.
at this moment here, we'll go ahead and plug our secondary anime edition episodes of the Royal Geek Podcast, where you can find me along with Trevor and JD talking about anime.
Some studs.
Yeah, we are 13 episodes in for our anime edition, and it has been a fun time.
Yep.
That's right. Yeah, you should
Definitely
check
check
that out.
that out. All right, so the next question is a fun one. All right, so if you could have any guest on your pod, who would it be and why?
That's incredible.
Yeah, I know. I think for me, a lot of different answers kick through my head, but I went with Nathan Fillion. I think Nathan Fillion
Fillion would be phenomenal.
He would be phenomenal because he has kind of been in every like geekdom thing ever. Like
Yeah.
this guy he's phenomenal.
He
And-
just has this. He has a charisma to him as
Yes,
well.
correct.
Like that, you would just be. There'd just be a phenomenal like interview. Even pulling from one of his own TV shows, another person that would be really cool would be Alan Tudyk.
Oh.
He's just been in phenomenal stuff. The name that came to mind for me, and he'd probably be a terrible interview, would be Clint Eastwood.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yes,
I mean
like-
it would be great if he was like committed to the interview, but
Yes, I feel like he would just be.
I think
he'd be terrible. But
I think
like,
he's been playing grumpy old man for so long that I think
Yeah.
he's like just a grumpy old
yeah,
man.
I think he's been a grumpy old man for like 40 years now.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, longer. So
Yeah, but yeah, it's just he's such a like pivotal movie actor in my like growing up.
And director.
And director,
Yeah.
yes, of course. But he's the main actor in probably my favorite movie of all time, The Outlaw Josie Wales. And he just the westerns that he did were just so his spaghetti westerns were so impactful, and just I watched so many of his movies growing up that it just he is an icon in my mind.
Yeah, he's great, phenomenal.
You know, I'll say an answer that I think is timely, both recently and in the future, and I really feel like would be just be an awesome interview. Would be James Gunn.
Ooh,
Oh, that would be a really good
That would
one.
be
Yeah.
phenomenal
Right?
one.
It'd
Yeah.
be a lot of fun with that.
Oh man,
for
I mean,
sure.
I think we could spend the whole pod talking about his soundtrack choices. I think
Yeah.
that's
dude,
wild.
like everything from like obviously Guardians, Peacemaker, the Suicide Squad.
That's right.
Yeah.
But also what's to come as he's taken over DC.
I have a lot of hope for DC. I really do.
Me too.
That's
Yeah,
great
but-
to hear you say.
But
It really
yeah,
is.
And yeah, that's fine. I'll admit that. I'm excited for them too. No, I genuinely am. But also, I want to say real quick before I forget, James Gunn is also like, if you follow him on social media, he's always actually he's really good about interacting with just like
Yeah.
questions
Very
online from
engaged.
fans.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so like to get him for an actual interview would be just out of this
Like
world.
the week that Guardians released, he said, "I got a few minutes. I'm going to do a Q&A," and then
Yeah.
on Twitter, and he just
Yeah.
got flooded with
Oh,
questions.
for sure.
That's great. And he answered most of them.
And he answers as many of them as he
Yeah,
can. So
that's
I mean,
great.
you could just tell he's a guy with great vision, great personality, incredible mind. I mean, yeah, that'd be so cool.
Yeah. All right. So moving on to the next question
Okay.
here. This one is a Marvel specific question.
Oh, all right. Here we go.
And so, as Marvel fans, moving forward with Marvel, how can we explain to the average fan to the best way to keep Marvel entertaining and fun instead of just expecting the next big movie like Endgame?
Okay, so we as Marvel fans,
How can
communicating to a casual.
a casual? Yes.
Okay. So what we would say to a casual
Yeah.
about why they shouldn't throw in the
Correct.
the
Yeah.
towel.
Why they shouldn't give up because
Okay, interesting.
the content has not been to the Endgame level
Says
as
who?
expected.
Just kidding.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
I
good.
think one of the biggest things to understand is that, you know, you can stop looking at the whole picture. Like, take each movie for what it is. It may be a piece to the larger puzzle, but it doesn't mean that every movie has to be, or every TV show has to be driving so hard at a single point in the future, you know? So if you're watching, the next TV show, or if you're watching a previous TV show, like, think about it as you're enjoying the journey of this character in this moment. You don't necessarily have to be like, okay, everything has to be driving towards this one big moment in
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just live in the moment more thing. That's basically.
Yeah, like understand that each piece is its own thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be like this huge driving thing towards. Not every line in every single episode has to be pointing at something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely a good way of looking at it. I don't know. I kind of feel like yes, we have a lot of oversaturation of the superhero genre right now. We do, and Marvel's pumping out content like crazy. But Feige has actively come out and saying that he's like pumping the brakes on a lot of projects, which leads me to believe that they do care about the quality of what they're doing, and I don't know. That kind of gives me hope that they are kind of focusing on the meaningful content. I know I feel like we've got a lot of just stuff to be stuff recently.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're going to start honing it back in.
Yeah, I
And-
do feel like it was partially about selling like a Disney Plus to the audience, and B, just they had this new toy in this new avenue of the streaming service, and they were just like, well, let's just like every idea that we have, like throw it. So now like it's kind of like the idea of let's get down to what's important, get to streamlining it, because it's just like anything else, you have to learn how to process. You have to learn how to, control your own verges in a way. Is kind of how I would think about it.
I kind of have a good analogy of what kind of their Marvel's doing. So Marvel, for the longest time, they've been the superhero, juggernaut, right? They are essentially like the Madden franchise. They've had nobody competing with them at all of making a rival football video game,
it's gotten stale.
They've gotten stale, right? Like everyone's like, oh, Madden's not doing anything new because nobody's challenging them. Well, James Gunn has the keys to DC right now, and you know for a fact that Feige, when he found out that James Gunn was doing that, he's like, whoa, we gotta keep it lively, keep it spicy, right? Because James Gunn's coming for Marvel.
Which it'll be really awesome if they can like build a healthy competition and rivalry between those two, because for so long the avenues just didn't match up. Like, Marvel had live action on lockdown. DC had animated on lockdown.
Yeah.
So there was no real in a way they were kind of not competing.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Man, I feel like there's so much I want to say, in little time.
Yeah.
I mean, because truthfully, I get this question or a variation of this question, like probably every week.
Oh yeah.
Like from friends of mine who know me as like the Marvel guy, and I'm not the Marvel guy, but in my friend groups, like I guess I'm the biggest freaking geek. I don't know. So a lot of people like to ask me.
There's always a bigger fish.
Yeah, a lot of people like to ask me about like, where Marvel's going, and even that question is always because, and the reason they ask the question is because in the past we have seen where Marvel went.
Yeah,
because there's such a great track record.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like a 6-year period where it felt like legitimately every movie was a home run.
Yeah,
and to give another sports analogy, it's like, even the greatest, Tom Brady, greatest quarterback ever. Sorry, Justin.
I know. It's okay.
You don't like him. I don't like him either. But it's like,
it's true.
Even he just finally retired. So it's like, to some extent, there's this element where it's like, hey, we have to appreciate what happened and understand, like, we might not ever have something like that again. We've talked about the feeling that we had when we were at that IMAX theater in 2019 for Endgame.
Yeah.
Right, on the release night. There is a legitimate chance that feeling we will never experience again to that degree. Doesn't mean there won't be great movies with great premiere night experiences, but to what happened that night
was unreal.
So unreal, so unique. So we might not ever get there. But I mean, like, what I'd say to that is like, okay, the expectations are so high for Marvel because of their success. Tell me one other area of life in anything that doesn't disappoint you.
I mean, yeah, that's great.
So it's like, like they were bound to hit a few speed bumps. They were bound to trip up here or there. I would argue we have plenty of evidence now that Marvel still, and I love them, but they still have not mastered the Disney Plus series. There's only a couple that have been really, really good.
Yeah.
And then there's been a lot that have been either lackluster or actually like poor or maybe just average at best. Yeah, there's a couple that have been good. So it's like, I guess I'm saying a lot. I would say Marvel has earned they have such a good track record that what I would say to the casual is don't give up on them. Enjoy project by project. Mm-hmm. And just remember, like, not everything, kind of like what Amato said, not everything has to be perfectly tied into an end game experience. Although I think they will, and I'm looking forward to more of that.
Yeah.
The continuity is always the most fun. See little cameos here and the connections there. Of course, it's what we live for. But it's like they literally like were hitting grand slam home runs back to back to back to back. Oh, and then a strikeout is like, oh, now you suck.
Right.
It's like, no, that guy was crushing it on the field, and Marvel's been crushing it. So, you know what? Let's see how they do in Phase 5.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Yeah.
Phase 4 wasn't that great. I would just say don't give up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm there. I was very close to jumping ship. If Guardians Volume 3 was bad, I was probably going to be a hater for the rest of Marvel's existence.
Yeah, right.
I would have been.
You would have been probably a little in your feelings for like a week and a half.
We would.
And
We would have had a bad podcast, but you would have been over it pretty quickly.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
Yeah.
But side memory that popped up that I loved was the implementation of Ryan's rants.
Yes,
so phenomenal.
Which we haven't done in a while. So Ryan, if you're
Yeah.
listening, get with the freaking program.
Yes,
Yes, we.
dude. Ryan is the realest dude that
If
you
you
know.
guys,
Yeah.
if you're listening and you happen to know my buddy Ryan, you would know that he is.
He keeps it real.
Dude, he keeps it real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I miss that.
I miss the Ryan rants. So, all right, moving on. We got two more questions.
Okay.
All right. So, what advice would you give to someone looking to start a podcast?
Oh wow.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the best advice I can give is to just start recording. Like, just do it. Like, just don't stop talking about it. Stop trying to think of the perfect moment to come out. Just do it.
Do something.
Just record. Record, and just hit record. That's it.
I would say that's probably the most important thing is actually getting the ball rolling. And then secondly, I think one big thing that we learned was like learn about audio quality. Like, when you're doing a podcast is, once you get into it, learn about that to where you can get your audio quality as best as possible when you're putting out your product.
Yeah.
Video editing, if you were in a video route, definitely dabble with that. It was tough to start.
Don't start with video.
No.
Just do audio to
it's a
start.
terrible decision.
Yeah.
Just
would be
do
to do
audio
that.
to start. Yeah. Oh, I just had something and then I lost it.
Just like that. Oh,
Yeah.
don't record late every night.
Yeah. Don't have kids
Oh, yeah.
so that one of your guys handcuffs the rest of the group to only recording at a certain
After
time.
the kids' bedtime. Yep.
Yeah. Don't,
Wonder who that
don't
is.
have kids. Let me think. Just start for sure.
Have fun.
Because you could, okay, that's
There
it.
you
Yeah.
go.
Like,
There you go.
make sure that what you're talking about. Thank you, Shimano. Make sure that what you're talking about you actually enjoy.
Yes.
Hopefully, you're not doing it alone. I know some podcasts are just solo, and maybe you enjoy that. And if you enjoy that, all credit to you.
Yeah.
But if it's something that involves another friend or another couple friends, like make sure you enjoy it because unless you are a celebrity or you just go viral, like it'll be slow. We're not here to make money.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a hobby for us, and we enjoy hanging out and talk about these things. And maybe one day we'll make it big. Ooh, that'd be
Maybe.
cool.
Yeah. You never know.
Make some actual money, Shimano. What do you think?
That'd be nice.
It'd be nice, but if it doesn't, it's still been an amazing ride. So make sure you're doing something that you enjoy.
I love that, man. Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll just get bitter about it. Son of a gun, got to do this podcast again.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which, like I said, there's been ups and downs. There's some weeks where you're not that invested.
Yeah.
That's happened.
Yeah, there's
before.
some weeks where you're like, I got to go see this freaking movie
before we record.
before we record.
Yeah, and of course we selected the record date as a Friday, and most
Yeah.
movies come out on Fridays, but the Thursday premiere, so it's like a time constraint.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, the Thursday shows have been like a godsend. Like that is one of the few positives that have happened since they kept on pushing back those release dates, and you can go to like a matinee on a Thursday to go see something if you need to.
Yeah.
You get because they started pushing back from 12. Oh, we're gonna do 10. We're gonna do 7.
Yeah.
And now it's literally like there's shows at like
4 o'clock.
3:30,
Yeah.
4.
But they still say it comes out on Friday.
Yes.
It's true. Yeah.
Broken system.
Get with
All right.
get with the program.
What's
All right.
next?
Final question.
last
And I
one?
think it's very fitting.
Okay.
Very fitting to be the final question. It says, "What do you want to accomplish with the podcast moving forward?"
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, obviously, we enjoy
My face
We enjoy doing that. Your
all
face.
over YouTube.
There you go.
Known as, I don't know, something clever.
I think the coolest thing would be just to have like a relatively decent sized thread of audience that are like bouncing back and forth with us.
Constant engagement.
that'd be
where
really
there's
cool.
engagement between people to where there's enough engagement to where, we're getting maybe, people are sending stuff in, we're getting questions and, interactions, on a regular basis. Cause I mean, just the idea that people are, passionate enough about the content that we are making that they want to reach out to us is great. and
Yeah.
of course to be a millionaire.
Yeah. Make a ton of money.
Yeah. Make money doing what you love. That kind of
Yes.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's
obviously.
things like that would be cool, right? You hear stories, you see YouTube channels and podcasts where it's like, these guys went full time to just do reaction videos.
I know.
Yeah.
That's
Like, yeah, not gonna
crazy.
lie, that'd be pretty, cool.
Yeah, I'm like the non-greedy end. It would just be super cool to like if just from a monetary realm, for us to be able to pay for looking behind like the background here, for us to be able to pay for our like service and maybe for like the movies that we go to see, and I'd be happy.
Here you go.
You know,
Yeah. At the
like
very, at the
on a
very,
very like
minimum.
Shimato's a man of simple things. He's
Yes.
not
Yeah.
looking for much.
I'm not greedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I like the idea of what Shimato said about just more of a audience involvement, a
Which-
community.
For me, it's I want to get guests, more guests on here.
Yeah, more guests. That'd be
Whether
cool.
it's close friends or
It would be cool, really cool to get like
Cross pod?
like
Yeah.
well, cross pod would be cool, but not necessarily. It doesn't have to be somebody huge, but like a minor celebrity. Like it could be like some dude who was like on one episode of some nerdy show. That would be super cool. And we live near an area to where people are going in and out. I literally had someone at where I work, their family member works in the movie industry, and like today, and something came through, and it was pretty cool. But they're not anybody famous themselves, but they work in the industry.
Yeah.
But so like it'd be just kind of cool, like just like somebody who their name shows up on a casting call would be just like a cool idea from that point of view.
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah, that's good.
So yeah, that's the end of our Q&A session there. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I really enjoyed these 3 years. I'll keep doing this
Here's
for
to
however
3
long.
more.
Yeah, but say I'll keep doing this for however long you guys want to do it for.
Yeah, maybe our 6th year we'll have another like 7 questions to ask us.
Yeah, maybe so.
Well, we didn't want to go too long. We're already at
we're
almost an hour.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. It's a good time. It's a good time to cut it off for sure.
So if I didn't get to your question, or if you wanted to submit a question, please still do so
Yeah.
by reaching out to one of our platforms.
Email us, text us,
Yeah.
leave a comment.
Just like I was just saying, if you push that in the content, we'll be forced to do another Q&A, So our content is based off of your wants and needs, really, which you push us towards.
There you go. We are here to satisfy your wants and needs in the geek universe.
Yes.
All right. Keep it clean, folks. All right, here we go. Again, thank you so much to everyone who tuned in, who, whether you've been here forever or you're new, we really appreciate you being a part of the Royal Geek family.
That's right.
So I want to encourage you to follow us on social media at Royal Geek Pod on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Follow us, and to please subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. And yes, please come on back. We will be continuing to review a lot of things this summer and the rest of this year, and we are honored to enter into year number 4 with all of you maniacs. So for my good friends Shimato and Sandy, my bad, I mix it up, whatever.
3
But
years,
hey,
baby.
year
3
4,
years.
maybe Shimato gets introduced
Let's
first. What
do
you
it.
think?
Let's do it, man.
For my good friends Shimato and Sandy, this is T-Roll saying thank you so much for listening to the Royal Geek Podcast. We will see you next time, you peasants.